So the Philadelphia Eagles are 2-0 after taking down the Minnesota Vikings on Thursday Night Football in Week 2. Now their focus shifts to Week 3, Monday night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But first, on today's show, winners and losers from that Vikings matchup. We also want to thank True Classic for making today's show possible. We have a great deal for all of the Bird Gang out there. I'm wearing one of their polos. It's so comfortable with that athletic material. Use the promo code CHATSPORTS to get 25% off. Just want to take a minute or so right off the top of the show to tell you about True Classic. I love all of their clothing items. It's my go-to destination for polos and t-shirts, shorts, jeans, other closet essentials. I love how their shirts fit and feel tight in the chest as well as the arms, loose around the waist because after some watch parties, you know, I like to take down some drinks. And it offers us guys premium products without the premium price tag. Believe me, once you try these shirts from True Classic, you'll never go back to regular basics. But seriously, whatever you choose, can't go wrong with True Classic. All their clothing from the shirts to the shorts, button-ups, designed to be versatile and work with your lifestyle so that you can look and feel your best all damn day. In fact, True Classic's so committed to their products, they even have a 100% risk-free guarantee and easy return. So one more time, 25% off their polos, their button-ups, activewear. You have to use the promo code CHATSPORTS at trueclassic.com/ChatSports. And without further ado, our Eagles, winners and losers against Minnesota. DeVonta Smith, probably the most clear winner after that Thursday Night Football matchup. And this came after he only got 2 touches in Week 1 against the New England Patriots. And all throughout the week, going into that matchup against Minnesota, I had said, it's play calling and game planning malpractice if you don't give your most explosive and talented back more than 2 touches. And Sirianni even said after that Patriots game, that's on me. It'll never happen again. And our announcement here on Eagles Now and the message we want to pass along to the Philadelphia native who had quite the homecoming at the Link. Congratulations, DeVonta Smith. You are now the Philadelphia Eagles lead running back. So we have to change up that RB depth chart because Kenneth Gainwell, in my opinion, after just what Swift displayed, power, size, elusiveness, explosiveness, home run threat, physicality, the balance, those are skills. And him as a player, he's just so much better than Kenneth Gainwell. Again, that's not a knock on Gainwell. Very good RB2 and a good change of pace back who, like Swift, can catch the ball out of the backfield. I can't wait to see what Swift can do in the screen game as his role evolves. We saw Rashad Penny last night after he was inactive for that season opener, and then Boston Scott sprinkled in there as well. But for Swift, the true star of the show. And I thought on Thursday night, once the Eagles started to give him the football, the offensive line started to get downhill, that's when the Eagles found their groove, and the Minnesota Vikings could not stop it. The Birds ran for more than 40 times and 250-plus yards, and they disrespected Minnesota in that game, all led by Swift's 28 carries, 175 yards, 6.3 yards per touch. So what a homecoming for DeVonta Smith. He's from Philly, went to St. Joe's Prep. Type Philly in the chat to welcome him back to the city of brotherly love. Eagles winner number 2, DeVonta Smith, linked up on a couple of explosive plays downfield with Jalen Hurts. I thought the first long ball from Hurts on the opening drive in which Smitty had to moss the safety, still came down with the catch, was a little bit underthrown. Could have been a walk-in touchdown if Hurts let him, but then they linked up a little bit later. It was a great play by Jalen Hurts. Jordan Hicks was sent home on the blitz. He hit Hurts straight in the chest, stopped his arm motion, but Hurts was able to display that strong arm and get it to DeVonta Smith, who was wide open, taking the top off of the defense. A very explosive night for Smitty. 4 catches, 131 yards, that touchdown, which went 63 yards. And that was one of those plays where you finally watched the Eagles offense looking like that 2022 team from last year with that aerial attack. Winner number 3, Jordan Davis. 2 games into the season, I think it's become pretty clear that the 2022 first-round pick out of Georgia looks to be a lot comfortable and a lot further ahead of where he was as a rookie. That's understandable. Only played 17 snaps. This wasn't a quote-unquote Jordan Davis game because the Minnesota Vikings air it out a lot, and they don't run the football often. So that's why Jordan Davis only played those 17 snaps at 6'6", 340 pounds. But he made his impact be known because with those 17 snaps that he logged, had a sack, had a tackle for loss, and had 2 quarterback hits, one of them on a play where he threw the interior offensive lineman to the side like a rag doll, hit Kirk Cousins, and his ability to stay on his feet at that size was freaky athletic. Winner number 4 for Philly, Josh Sweat. 2 games in, he's been the Eagles' best pass rusher at defensive end / edge rusher. Hassan Reddick has kind of been missing to start the season. Maybe he's still hurting from that thumb injury. Didn't get to partake in a lot of practices throughout training camp. Might be rounding into his season shape. But Josh Sweat, he's in great shape, and he's playing great ball. 40 snaps against Minnesota. Had a sack. 5 quarterback hits on Kirk Cousins with 1 tackle. And for Sweat, the Minnesota Vikings had a lot of attrition at left tackle. Christian Darrisaw came into that game banged up, tried to suit up, couldn't give it a go. Their backup left tackle could not play in that game, so they were down to their 3rd-string tackle. Kirk Cousins was seeing ghosts on his backside because Josh Sweat was coming for his ass. And then at number 5, the Georgia Bulldogs. They're making Howie Roseman look really smart for drafting a bunch of them, and then in the case of DeAndre Swift, trading for him. This from Jeremy Fowler, that the Eagles-Georgia Bulldogs project seems to be working out just fine. From Thursday Night Football, Swift, 28 totes, 175 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Davis, 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits. Jalen Carter was good once again. He had a tackle for loss and was throwing cats to the side and out the club like a bouncer. And then Keely Ringo, 1 fumble recovery on special teams. So the Bulldogs, it's also funny, like the Eagles play this style. It's not ugly, but they're winning a lot of games. Sometimes Georgia didn't really pop, but they still won a lot of games and 2 national championships. These guys know how to win football games and how to contribute for a winning football team. Before we get to our losers, make sure you subscribe to the show. Picked up another 1,000 subscribers on our Thursday Night Football watch party. We'll be back for Week 3 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, looking to smash those numbers as well. But let's continue to grow the Eagles Now empire, and let's get to 53,000 subscribers. Let's do it for Hugh Douglas. He's dealing with a difficult time right now after his son passed away tragically in Atlanta. Eagles losers. Britton Covey, you fumbled a punt. And the Eagles elevated you from the practice squad prior to that game. There's one more time in which Philadelphia can elevate Britton Covey as well as Aaron Sipos. And then after that, if they want them to be members of this 2023 team, they have to sign them to the active roster. When you fumble the football like that, trying to extend a play, stay on your feet, could have changed the game where Minnesota could have taken over the football deep in your own territory. That's how you win. That's how you lose ball games, That's how you win if you're Minnesota. Covey just can't force it, and he's feeling the pressure right now, being on the fringe of that roster. Jalen Hurts, loser number 2 for Philadelphia, and I understand he hasn't played his best football. I'm not ripping the Eagles QB1. I'm not going to go as far as to say I'm concerned. But the numbers and the eye test through 2 games tells you that Jalen Hurts simply has not been the quarterback in 2023 that we anticipated him being after he finished runner-up in MVP last year. Sheil Kapadia on his podcast for The Ringer with my boy Cliff Augustine. There have been 600 quarterback performances going back to the start of last year. Hurts' performance against the Vikings ranked 593 out of 600 in success rate. The first 2 weeks of the season, his success rates have been lower than in any game all of last year. Again, I'm not hitting the panic button. Hurts can turn it around. And my point, my big takeaway out of this 2-0 start, can you imagine what Philadelphia is going to be able to do and look like when everything comes together in a synergetic way? That's probably not even a word. If they're able to kind of just come together and gel collectively as a team, if Hurts can find his groove. Avonte Maddox, another loser here because Maddox continues to be injured. It seems as though every single year he's dealing with something, and he might be out for the rest of the year. John Clark, NBC Sports Philadelphia, with this report on Friday morning that sources tell me there is worry that Avonte Maddox tore his pec muscle last night. He was getting an MRI this morning. If that is indeed the injury, and we're recording this on Friday during our live show, reacting to what transpired on Thursday night, most likely out for the year. And why this loss hurts is that Maddox is a good slot cornerback, very good compliment to James Bradbury and Darius Slay. He's been banged up a lot, but when he's been on the field, has a knack for making big plays, forced a fumble against Minnesota on Thursday night. The Eagles are already thin at a couple of positions at the second and third level of that defense, now even more so now, linebacker, corner, safety, and the Eagles' defensive depth getting tested here. And then our last loser for the Eagles against the Vikings, Kenneth Gainwell. All throughout the offseason, training camp, preseason, he was utilized as RB1. He was treated like an RB1. That's why going into week 1, he was literally the starter and got most of the carries. Out because of injury in week 2, DeAndre Swift took advantage of his opportunities, and we saw the special flash for Swift as compared to Gainwell just being a solid player. So let me know your biggest winner and loser from week 2. Drop me a couple of names down below in the comments section. Bird Gang, share your thoughts. We appreciate you for watching the show as always, and don't forget to lock us in and hit that subscribe button.